to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? Two Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
The Blitz has been called.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
That man is playing Gallagher. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Smokey, Captain Cool, and the Bandi Man.
Hello and welcome into a wonderful day here in No Man's Land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool.
Oh my goodness, it's Captain Cool!
Someone lose a grenade. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, Tuesday. Make sure you guys find us online at theblitzsportsradio.com and on Facebook at The Blitz Sports Radio and on Twitter at @TheBlitz_sports. And make sure you guys have our app. It is out on both Android and Apple devices. You just got to search up The Blitz Sports Radio and you'll be able to find it. It should be pretty easy for you guys out there. You're all pretty smart. And make sure you guys are following us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZN TV for more than just sports talk. And if you want to join in on any of the conversations today or make it audible, call us at 256-576-4977. And this first hour is presented by Woody Anderson Ford, so make sure you give them some love. Maybe go to their website, check out a little car, maybe even get one of those new EV Mustangs, you know? Maybe one of those, because those are kind of slick, and the interior on them is top notch. Whenever I see one coming by, I always say that I want that, and the person who's driving it, if I ever get to talk to them, they always say they want my Mustang, and they can't have it because I love my Mustang. But yeah, you guys are live hanging with the chillest crew in sports radio. To my left, Bandi Man Lowry. Yes.
Oh no, they're all going in this time.
Wow, we got a lot of...
Oh my gosh.
That's like 7 times he clicked it. Okay,
All right, we're good. My brethren have fallen. We've introduced into the show. How's it going, Captain Cool?
It's going pretty good. I got some things to talk about my last night. It was an entertaining night. I watched a movie, and I will talk more on that after we introduce the other guy that's behind the glass. But yeah, how are you doing today, Bandi?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good. I also kind of enjoy myself. I see we're actually already getting some activity on the poll question that we put out not too long ago.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, we'll hear more about that.
Yep. And you know who puts out those poll questions?
Who?
Our always reliable producer, Smokey Mike
There he
Huncho.
is. There he is. Behind the glass.
Yeah, behind the glass. I'm in a glass case of emotion right here, boys. Oh, it's Tuesday, and it's game week. You know why I'm excited? It's because it is game week, and we can talk about a football game. The most prominent football game, name value-wise, this weekend is Nebraska, Northwestern, in Dublin.
Yeah.
And we have Aaron Sorenston from Hale Varsity, who covers Nebraska, and have her on coming up at 2:25. Then we got What's Cool at 3 o'clock, and then the play-by-play at 3:25 today, along with a little DF3 action, which this time DF3, we might do a little bit of free pool action because there is a particular free pool that is going on about that is sponsored by Legacy, which is a new Hulu show for the Los Angeles Lakers. And they have some debatable questions on there that we could discuss on that. And free pool wise, I will say free pools for FanDuel and DraftKings have netted me about $125 combined.
Okay, get that bag.
So free pools, you can actually make a little bit of cash and then use that cash to go make some fantasy plays.
All right. Well, that sounds pretty good. Tell the people where you can find us.
Well, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Rose Scholar. You are at CPT Cool 420. The Bandy Man is at B Larry 2016. And you've said everything else, so
yes, make sure I get my my straight up stuff first.
You are rocking and rolling with your script now. You're in a good routine, so that is all. Whoa.
I don't even read the script. What are you talking about? I just glance at it. I know everything, even the number. No, that was the one thing I had the problem with was the number. I couldn't get it. I messed it up like 3 times the first time we had to do it, and I was just like, how did I mess it up this time? And I had it incorrectly on my script. This is now week 5, day 2. And, yeah, we've come a long way. Now we all have the correct number, and I don't have to look at the banner behind us.
Well, there is a little bit of breaking news coming out. Granted, this is not full-on breaking news, but the coaches of the SEC have just put out their preseason first, second, and third teams going on. And with 19 Alabama players on the top 3 teams. This also shows a little bit of the debate, as we've been discussing throughout the last few weeks, of who really is the number 2 quarterback in the SEC behind Bryce Young.
Well, we learned it was not Kentucky's quarterback.
Will Levis is actually 3rd team SEC, all SEC.
Okay.
Hendon Hooker, the Vol quarterback, is sitting at the 2nd team. By the way, I need to go up to the state line and put a flyer on Hooker's 40-1 preseason Heisman odds.
Yeah.
I need to get that taken care of because that's a dark horse that I think if Tennessee could end up pulling a victory over Alabama or Georgia, Roman Harper's calling Tennessee to beat Georgia this year.
Jeez.
Roman Harper of the SEC Network, and if that happens and Hooker has a 350 and 4, that's a Heisman game.
Yeah.
So, but Captain, lead us away.
Well, I honestly need to look more into Hendon Hooker because obviously Tennessee's been all over the place with the quarterback situations, but they kind of finally found the man. But same with the Kentucky's situation. I haven't been convinced completely yet, so maybe next time we get a Tennessee dude on, maybe he can try and convince me a little bit more. Maybe I just got to watch a little bit more game.
I can convince you right there. 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
How many games?
10.
He played 10 games? Okay.
Well, he started 10 games.
He started 10 games?
Yeah.
All right. That hasn't convinced me just yet. It's college football, all right. That's a mid-tier. The 3 interceptions, that is pretty good. I will say that. Having under 5 is it's nice. Especially, well, this is the college defenses we're talking about. But again, whatever. But today is August 23rd, 2022, and the big story is really we got Nick Saban getting his bag. We all heard about that. We've seen it all over the news. He was, he was beat out by Kirby Smart as the most paid coach in college football. And that didn't last too long because now Nick Saban's back on top. That's right, baby, as he should, honestly. But we'll get more into that later on the cool segment. And then Kenny Pickett, he is not the only quarterback this preseason that is looking to take a starting role going into the season. I'm talking about a guy named Desmond Ridder for the Falcons, making a strong case for himself even last night against the Jets, let alone the first week of the preseason, looking really good himself. Maybe Marcus Mariota might be scared. Probably not, because you never know what the Falcons are going to do. Maybe they want to give a little bit more time to Marcus Mariota, see how he does, because he's not performing bad, okay? Marcus Mariota is a stellar player, all right? He won the Heisman Trophy. He played well for Tennessee for a few years, went to the Raiders, didn't get too much playing time, but now he's on the Falcons. People are looking up to him. He's kind of got that confidence back, okay? He was brought to Atlanta to start. Okay? Kenyon Drake, on the other hand, is getting kicked out of the Raiders. So he's going to have to find a new home. We're going to also have a fun time trying to figure out where he's going to go. I'm honestly thinking that the Falcons might be the best place for him, honestly. But, again, we'll see. Maybe it's just because, I want to see the Falcons actually do well, even though their uniforms are probably top 3 worst in the league at the moment. But still, I want Atlanta to go off, And then PlayStation recently just announced that they have a new pro-grade controller coming out to rival Xbox's pro-grade controller that they already have, the Elite controllers.
Okay.
So, yeah, and it does look pretty cool. PlayStation put out a whole video and stuff like that, one of those animated videos. Kind of like, how Apple used to do it, it's got the blue background and all that stuff, all that sci-fi Japanese type stuff, because, Japan, PlayStation, kind of the same thing. And Saints Row comes out today. That's right. If you guys want to play a goofier version of GTA, I guess it's a remade game where they just came out with a
goofier version.
It's kind of like it's kind of like a reboot.
It is yes, it's a hard reboot of the game. Yeah, you could. It's not really a remaster because it is straight up just like what was the other game that came out? Well, I guess it's more like Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Where it's not trying to be the same thing, but it is trying to continue the legacy of the game. So
where it's not a remaster, but almost kind of like a retelling or a reboot of the series. Yeah.
Which I originally liked the Saints Row stuff that was going on. Nowadays, it's very 2022. I don't know what type of goofy stuff they're even allowed to have in it. But I mean, before you could run around hitting people in the face with I'm gonna say it, dildo swords. So I mean, that stuff was kind of cool. That's just the wacky stuff you could do in, the old Saints Row. So maybe you can do that in this. Maybe you can't. I don't know. But GTA, you better watch out, baby.
And I will say, before they kind of went all just absolutely crazy with the series, with Saints Row the Third, Saints Row 2 is one of my favorite games.
It is a good game.
I love Saints Row 2, and it was actually a legitimate rival to Grand Theft Auto at the time.
Yeah, definitely at the time. And the graphics were, spectacular. Some people would say that the graphics were, better than GTA's in the form that they didn't try to be realistic. They were more cartoony and stuff like that. The people looked kind of cool. It was a good vibe that the game had going for it. But then, yes, Saints Row did kind of get a little too crazy, and that's why they had to kind of bring it back down to earth with this new reboot. So if you guys are excited to play that, it is out today.
Yeah. What would you say, in your words, it got a little goofy?
It got a little goofy. Maybe even a little crazy. I don't know. But, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going down today, and I'm excited. But let me tell you guys, last night, all right, my brother planned this watching of a movie that I've never watched before, and it's a space horror. It's from the 90s. It's Event Horizon. Look it up, Bandi. Smokey, do you know what Event Horizon is?
I do.
You ever watch it?
I have.
How do you feel about it?
It's pretty solid.
It is. It was a box office flop, but it kind of wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. The dinosaur guy was in it. The guy from Jurassic
No,
Park.
You're talking about Sam Neill, the dinosaur guy.
And
Guy.
if you guys have ever watched the movies, like it is one of those movies that makes you think that the main character is gonna be like, all cool and good, and he is the guy, but then it does a total flip flop on you, and it does it pretty quick. So even if I told you that it turns out he's a little cuckoo in the brain, then it's not gonna really spoil anything for you. But similar movies to that, it reminded me of Cube, the Canadian film from the early 2000s.
Cube?
Yeah, Cube. It was a great film. They made multiple sequels. None were as good as the first one, but it was one of those kind of backroom vibe you get, from watching it. It was that, and also it was very psychological, very good. But yeah, Event Horizon, very gory. The story was kind of complex in a way that it was kind of cool because I could still understand what was going on, but the writing was pretty bad. And then the characters were just they were not there. And at one point you see somebody hanging up by their skin. It gets really, really gory. There are times.
Yeah, just kind of reading the plot. This is giving me very much like a Dead Space vibe.
Yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about. It's just and it's not even that there's any really thing bad. It's more the ship itself is what's bad. And
Oh, you're talking about the Lewis and Clark?
well, I'm talking about the Event Horizon. The Lewis and Clark's fine. That's what they come in on, and I like how you brought that up because honestly, I wouldn't have brought up the name of the ship, which is a pretty cool name. But yeah, they show up at the Event Horizon in this deep, far off area in space, and then they go and check it out, and then one after another, they just start getting I'm seeing things, but they're real. But I don't know if they're real or not. And then the story gets a little convoluted. But it does kind of lose its touch at the end, but it was good. I still don't know if everybody's safe who survived, if anybody survived, because I'm not spoiling anything for you. But people do die in the film. But enjoy it if you haven't watched it. Maybe Bandi will watch it. I don't know. Maybe should we peer pressure him into watching it? It's a short film.
I don't feel like that's worthy of peer pressure.
Oh, come on.
It still seems like a pretty good movie. I mean, I like what I'm reading about the plot so far. I like the premise.
I'm sorry, but the thing was that you know how movie companies back in the day, if one was bringing out something, another would be bringing out something similar.
Yeah.
Of the situation, like Independence Day.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the other one was off the top of my. Well, let's see. Yeah, Independence Day was another one. It was going alongside Twister.
Okay.
Which was a disaster movie.
Great movie.
And then when did War of the Worlds come out?
Same time as World War Z.
Jeez.
Wait, really?
It was pretty much those two were about similar.
Wait, War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise?
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, no, that had to be mid 2000s, I thought, or 2010 at latest.
War of the Worlds.
05.
05, okay.
I've actually not watched this.
Yeah, it's pretty good if I remember right.
This clip this little picture right here reminds me of Attack on Titan, a scene that I haven't even watched, but it's of the big Titan just looming over everybody. I saw a picture of that today. It's like a robot. It looks like, I don't know.
Oh, another one would be the studio's putting out Deep Impact and Armageddon pretty much within 6 months of each other.
Yeah.
You want your love story with Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler with Steven Tyler in the background singing as a what?
Wait, what? Why is Steven Tyler there?
First off, he said live, so I'm getting triggered. LIV golf tour?
No. Well, I mean, he wrote the song for the damn movie. And so, that whole I don't want to miss a thing. Mm-hmm. He wrote that specifically for Armageddon.
Wow.
And then, of course, you got Deep Impact with Morgan Freeman, who should be the president and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he's not wrong. Yeah. Armageddon, I have not watched.
Are you serious?
Which one is Armageddon?
That's Affleck, Liv Tyler, Bruce Willis, Michael Clark Duncan. Billy Bob's in it.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. I haven't watched a lot of his films, if we're being honest. I've only watched the Live Free or Die Hard.
Oh.
That's the only Die Hard movie I've watched as well.
You haven't even seen the original Die Hard?
You need to see OG Die Hard and then let us know if you think it's a Christmas movie.
I know. People say that a lot. But yeah, the only little bit of Die Hard, the original movie, that I got to see was actually at a bar. and I was just like chilling out, and there was like this sex scene that was going on. I was like, should this be being played at a bar? And
I mean, it's like, wait a minute, I'm at a bar. They would totally play that here.
Yeah, well, also I was a young boy, all right, and I don't go into a lot of bars. So when I was that age, I was just like newly fresh on the scene, and seeing that was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd play this at my bar, but what do I know? But yeah, no, I haven't watched Armageddon. People have told me to watch it. So is that a horror space show?
No,
Space
no,
movie?
not exactly. It's more like action romance.
Okay, well, what is that the film about? Was it the asteroid?
Both are about the asteroids.
Mm-hmm.
Both Deep Impact and Armageddon are about asteroids, world-destroying asteroids.
All right, well, which one?
The Armageddon one is training to send ships up to the meteor to drill because you needed oil drillers to put these nukes in, bomb the meteor, like let's see, around the Earth.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story about nuking meteors.
So which is the one that has the person? Is it like it's like a kid or somebody that draws the perfect circle?
A perfect circle.
In the movie that I watched, because a long time ago I watched this movie about these guys that go up and destroy this meteor and stuff, and one hits like Dallas, Texas or something. It's a smaller meteor that hits it before they could destroy it. I have that might be another meteor movie. I have no idea.
Well, let's see. Deep Impact, the meteor does hit.
Is it a small meteor that hits? And then
It's a smaller meteor of the two because they nuked it, and majority of the meteor went. But this meteor hit around Paris, I believe it was. Or no, this meteor hit in the Atlantic. That's what it was.
Okay.
Now, the Armageddon one, there was a smaller meteor that was just debris that hit around Paris.
Jeez.
Now, I actually didn't know Armageddon was directed by Michael Bay.
Oh, yeah, that was a Bay.
With a screenplay by J.J. Abrams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that thing, they spent all the money for that movie.
I completely forgot Steve Buscemi was in it, too.
Oh, yeah, Buscemi, and then it's the fat dude. I don't know what his name is.
Will Patton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude is always fantastic in what he does. And also, Owen Wilson was a part of it.
Okay. Well, I'm still trying to figure out which one I've watched. Maybe I just need to watch a few minutes of both film to figure it out exactly. But going back to Event Horizon, the first few minutes, I saw a lot of CGI and all that stuff, and I was like, I don't know if this is an animated film or not. And I thought that was hilarious because then it goes straight to a guy floating around in space dead, and it was just like, oh, okay, so there's just a lot of CG, and this is just 1990s. This is just the 90s, the type of CG they used. So, the budget they had on that was pretty big, I will say. It was like, was it 60-something million? They only made like 38.
You know what's another one you might like to watch, John?
Yes, give me a suggestion.
If you like these kind of like space thriller, maybe psychological kind of movies, have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey yet?
You're going old school, Bandi.
You guys are gonna hate me.
I'm going old school, but you know it's a good one.
Have you seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Another good one.
No, but I've watched a movie called The Fourth Kind.
The Fourth Kind.
Which is about like ghosts and crazy stuff. No, I haven't watched Space Odyssey either. I don't watch a lot of space movies, okay? They're really cool. I love the feeling of just being enclosed in a capsule out in the middle of nowhere where you can't breathe because it's very claustrophobic, and that gives me a different vibe. But I would like to watch some more because mainly if I ever go back to older films, they're going to be about World War I, World War II. Those are like my favorites.
Maybe Killer Clowns from Outer Space can be next.
I know a little bit about killer clowns, all right.
Hey, man, you don't know any killers until you see the Killer Tomatoes.
The Killer Tomatoes?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Killer Tomatoes. I hadn't seen the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. The chat even knows about it.
Oh, no. What? No, I need to look this up.
It's animated.
Is this Little Shop of Horrors?
Oh, with Rick Moranis?
That's a good film. I almost was in a musical for that, but no.
Feed me, Seymour.
I could do the whole first dance to that. That's about it.
Are you serious?
Wait,
yeah.
A new musical comedy horror show.
Dude, this is the tomato on a jacked guy's body, and he's got a shotgun. No, it's not a shotgun. It is an LMG. So, do they make 2 of these?
Yeah. They even had a show on it.
Okay. Oh, I see that. Okay.
A Saturday morning cartoon.
Wow. Well,
back when Saturday morning cartoons was cool.
Now you guys got plenty of obscure movies to watch, except for Space Odyssey, because I don't know how obscure that one is, because I've heard about it a lot. What was it? Armageddon also is not too obscure, but give it a watch anyway. I'm going to be watching it right beside you guys. So, I'll be fine.
That's a good movie for the girlfriend, too.
Armageddon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a action romance.
Okay.
Roma.
So yeah, I was. Let's all sing with him now. No, I'm joking. But yeah, it is almost Halloween spooky season, so I gotta start watching a lot more of the spooky Halloween vibe movies. So I might watch Armageddon really quick before it goes into spooky season completely. But I definitely gotta watch Scary Godmother 1 and 2. Those are just those are a necessity, and if you haven't watched them, you guys gotta watch them. It is a blast from the past. I used to watch them on Cartoon Network all the time whenever they came on. Wonderful movies, very bad animation, but the vibes are immaculate. So that's what we'll be doing. We got plenty of stuff to talk about other than movies, and we will get back to it when we get back to you guys after this break. And make sure you guys remember, this is presented by Woody Anderson Ford. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen and store managers who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the internet.
It's the parent who sells ads in the school athletic program.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
It's the trainers, equipment managers, and ball boys who never miss a practice.
What makes high school sports here in Alabama so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
High school sports. It's the we that every community needs. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You're bringing your daughter to her favorite pop star's concert. Do you A, wear earplugs?
Isn't this fun, Dad?
I'll have a soft pretzel.
B, remember the moment with matching concert t-shirts?
That's gonna be $180.
Or we can just take a photo.
C, show her how you used to do concerts.
We're going crowd surfing.
I can't. It's too heavy. Oh my God. Oh.
Or D, just roll with it.
Woo! Justin! Look at us! We're over here!
Justin! OMG! He just looked. I love you, Justin! I love you!
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Coming to you live from the Franklin Automotive Studio, Birmingham's premier automotive service provider for Acura, Lexus, Toyota, Honda, Volvo, Nissan, Infiniti, Audi, and Volkswagen. Located at the corner of Acton Road, behind the shops of the Colonnade.
The Blitz has been called.
Come on, take
And welcome back into the Afternoon Blitz. Right here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz. 256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. Smokey right here alongside Bandi Man and Captain Cool, taking you guys all the way up to 4 o'clock this afternoon. And on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline right now, we get to talk football, boys. We get to talk games, as this lady does a fantastic job for Hale Varsity, who covers Nebraska. And you got to say, Nebraska Northwestern, by name, is probably the sexiest matchup of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And she is over in Dublin right now because that's where the game is being done.
Yeah.
It is one Aaron Sorensen. Aaron, good afternoon. How are you? Or should I say good evening because you're in Ireland?
Yes, it is. It is almost 8:30 p.m. It's been a bizarre adjustment with everyone's, having lunch while I'm getting ready to go to bed or at least drink a Guinness. But it's been fun.
Oh, well, this Nebraska team, I'm one that, being born in 1985, I saw throughout the 90s Nebraska just dominate. And once Frank Solich took over, he was still keeping a good record for the Cornhuskers. And then Bo Pelini was Mr. Basically 8-4 or 9-4, just never lost more than 4 times. And then ever since Bo Pelini left, this program has been on a downslide. Scott Frost comes in after UCF's undefeated, quote-unquote, national championship season. And it's supposed to be the perfect story. The national championship winning quarterback coming back to his alma mater and bringing Nebraska back to prominence. But that's not been the case right now. And what has been the biggest issue for Scott Frost in Lincoln?
Oh, where do you begin? I think there's probably a number of things that you could point to, and I think for myself, having covered this team for nearly a decade now and, grown up and been in Nebraska my whole life, there's a lot of things that people point to, and I think all of them are fair when you think about just sort of the trajectory of things with the number of athletic directors that Nebraska has run through, and then the number of coaches. Some people point to even when Frank Solich was fired as kind of the beginning of this downturn. And, then you look at the Big Ten, and Nebraska's style of play was different than the Big Ten's. And, you have Scott Frost who comes in and says the Big Ten's going to have to adjust to us, not the other way around. And then that is not exactly how it has gone. And so I think there are so many things that you could point to that are incredibly fair. So because of that, I don't think it's one key thing, which I think is why it makes it so difficult to fix, because it's not like, oh, it's just this one thing, and once you tweak that, everything else falls into place. It's sort of the million-dollar question that, again, a number of athletic directors, a number of coaches have been trying to answer, and you're just kind of waiting for that person who finds the magic combination that gets it to come together again. So I wish if I had the answer, I would be the coach right now.
That's true, but one thing I've actually really noticed with this Nebraska team is, well, at least kind of specifically with one player, Garrett Nelson, is really how he stepped up as a leader. And it seems like Scott Frost has been very complimentary of the fourth-year junior. And I just kind of want to know, have you personally seen the effects of Nelson's leadership around maybe the locker room or on the practice field with this team?
Oh yeah. I mean, he was the cover feature of Hale Varsity's yearbook this year, and there's a reason for that, because it just feels like he's been building to this moment. And a lot of people kind of pinpoint him as, like, if you had a team of Garrett Nelsons, you would be unbeatable, because he is just a very special individual as far as the way he approaches everything he does, the way he trains, the way he, it's just a leader for himself and for others. He is somebody where no matter how this season goes, I know he technically has an extra season of eligibility. This is not something he has told me. It's just my gut feeling. But if the NFL does not come knocking at the end of this season for him, I will be absolutely flabbergasted. He is, I think, what you hope a team embodies. And I think that's why someone like Scott Frost is so complimentary of him and likes him so much. And what we know is one player cannot, win for an entire team. But if one player can motivate a team, it would certainly be Garrett Nelson. So we will see what he is able to do this season, but that defense still looks like it could be pretty good. We just have a lot of question marks on the other side of the ball.
And I definitely want to get more into all of the roster and all that stuff. But college football going international for the first time in 5 years. I want to know, what type of fun are the players having over there in Ireland? Because I don't even know what you could really do over there. I know there's probably plenty of fun stuff. But what are the guys doing to really just keep their mind either centered on football, or what are they doing to have fun over there?
They have said that this is a business trip. They are here for one thing and one thing only, and that is to get a win and head home and keep that momentum going into the season. Now, with that said, the game organizers have made sure that they are not, just leaving Ireland without some experience. So tonight they had dinner at the Mansion House, which is down on Dawson Street in Dublin. They have a couple of tours that they will do. Their hotel is actually on a golf course, so for some of the players who they won't likely get to play any golf, but wanted to at least experience a golf course in Ireland, they will get to see that. So there's going to be some opportunity for them to at least see Dublin, see some of Ireland, and it may not be as much as you would hope, but for so many of these, some of these players, they had to get passports to come and, play in this game. So it at the same time, while they're very focused on the task at hand, I at least hope that they walk away with, some memories as well, win or lose.
Yeah, I'm glad they're getting a little bit of experience over there. I know whenever you brought up the whole golf course thing, I looked over at Bandi and he was just he was kicking.
Oh, I am very jealous. I am. That is one of the top things on my bucket list is to go golfing in Ireland.
But no,
there's a couple of players who said the same thing. They're like, I'd love to play, but if I can only stare at it, that's fine.
That's what I was thinking. There's got to be some Bandi mans over there.
Aaron Sorensen on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can follow her on Twitter at Aaron Sorensen. Yeah, she is the deputy editor of Hail Varsity and the co-host of the Mind Your Own podcast. Getting back a little more into the football world, Casey Thompson is named QB1 for Scott Frost. Had led the Big 12 last year with 24 touchdown passes. But Scott Frost said on his radio show that he would take the first, or quote unquote, take the first snap. Is there a quarterback battle truly brewing here, or is Casey Thompson the legit number one?
I think he's pretty firmly number one, but I would also say that Nebraska has a lot of depth at quarterback, despite the departure of Adrian Martinez. You have Chubba Purdy. I keep wanting to say his brother's name. You have Chubba Purdy, but then you also have Logan Smothers, who did have a little experience in Adrian's absence last season, and that depth has to make you feel good that if you need to stay, and I think this is maybe what I took away from it and how I have been sort of evaluating this quarterback situation, is it is Casey Thompson's job. However, there might be packages where you see Chubba Purdy, or maybe you see Logan Smothers, or, so on and so forth. They also have the option to use Richard Torres later in the season, without potentially burning a red shirt. But there's a lot of depth at quarterback. So I think while Casey gets snap number one, he is quarterback number one. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see other quarterbacks here and there, especially depending on the game and situation.
Looking through the depth chart as well, I'm kind of seeing that same kind of depth in the running game as well. I don't know. I mean, would you say you see that same kind of talent? Because I'm seeing not only a good variety of talent, but I feel like a lot of young talent as well.
Yeah, the running back position is going to be something that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Obviously, Nebraska is seeking consistency with that group. This has been a position group for the longest time that has said every year going into it, we do not want running back by committee. We want, the number one guy. We want the bell cow, and then we want everybody to kind of build in around him. And it has not worked that way. So this is truly the year that we have heard more and more about just the talent level here. But no one has been told to us yet is who has separated themselves. Now we know there are a number of very talented backs. Who's going to rise to the top? That's what I'm going to be really particularly interested in this Saturday against Northwestern. But even going into the season, do we see consistency? Do we see the same person each week? And then do we see everyone else kind of, like I said, filling in those gaps where they need it? That is going to be the big question mark, because unfortunately right now Nebraska has not had somebody since Divine Azigbo in 2018 who has been a consistent 1,000-yard rusher. So they need that. That is something that is like an absolute necessity. They do not want their quarterbacks running the ball as much as the quarterback has had to do in previous years. So we've heard a lot of good things about these running backs and what the run game can be. Unfortunately, I'm kind of I need to see it. I need it to be proven at this point. But hey, there's a game on Saturday, so the prove it time is here.
Yeah, and then looking at both of these teams, Northwestern and Nebraska, if you just look at the records they had from last year, you'd say that they're a very similar team. But that could be less than the truth. But what does Nebraska have over Northwestern, at least going into it, that you think is going to give them the upper hand this Saturday?
Well, I'll take Pat Fitzgerald's words. He was one at Big Ten Media Days who did credit that while Nebraska has seen a large number of newcomers to this team, they added 33 scholarship players this offseason. What I will say is Pat Fitzgerald was the one that was like, they're still more experienced than we are when he was talking about Nebraska versus his team, and I do think that is a part of it is Nebraska does have a lot of experience on its roster, and Northwestern is in a situation where there are younger players at certain key positions. So Nebraska has that advantage there, where even though these players weren't all necessarily on the same team with one another last season, they have the experience. They've played at the Division I level. They've played at at a high level in college. So how that translates for Nebraska, we've yet to see. But I think even Pat Fitzgerald kind of acknowledged that at Big Ten Media Days when we talked to him, that it's like, this is a challenge for his team all season long. I think the last time I checked, Nebraska is like a 13.5-point favorite. I think there's a lot of unproven. While Nebraska's unproven, I think there's a lot more unproven with Northwestern. And that is an area where Nebraska can take advantage. And the question is, will they? Great question.
Erin Sorensen, deputy editor of Hail Varsity on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can follow her at Erin Sorensen on the Twitter. Scott Frost got into a little bit of a hot water deal with saying that his offensive linemen were puking 15 to 20 times per, and kind of went back a little bit on it. But what was the initial reaction in Lincoln about this particular comment right here? Because it just seemed like, yeah, that's not exactly something to brag about.
Yeah, I think it was pretty divided. I think a lot of people obviously understood that I think he was exaggerating, and that was at least in that moment where I was like, it feels like an exaggeration to me. Now, I think the question became, why was that the thing that you exaggerated about, of all things? That is not something you want to make a joke or an exaggeration about, because that's an alarming number where people are like, hold on a second, if that's true, that's concerning for a number of reasons. So, I think it was said more in his mind in jest, an exaggeration, as a way of saying how hard his offensive line has been working. I think it was the wrong way to say that. I think because he had to walk it back, I think he was essentially acknowledging, too, that's not what I meant to come from this. So I would say what I watched as far as fan reaction to that was very divided. Some people were very annoyed by it, very why did you have to say that? Why could you not have said something else? And then some people were simply like, everyone's too sensitive. And I think for me, I just kind of watched it and was like, you know what, we really need to get to a football game at this point, because everyone is very testy. So we just need the football game to happen.
And my last question, at least, you talked a little bit about some of the transfers that are coming in, and I want to know, who are the main guys to keep an eye on this Saturday?
O'Shawn Mathis, absolutely watch him coming off the edge. From everything we've been saying alongside Garrett Nelson, they are a force to be reckoned with, and also with Caleb Tanner. That group seems to be, it seems like that's going to be terror for other teams to deal with. The other person on the other side of the ball, I'd say, is Trey Palmer. He has been advertised by so many players that, like Casey Thompson just said, he's the fastest wide receiver he's ever worked with. We've just heard so many things about Trey Palmer. I actually did a Q&A with him for our yearbook, and he is a like bright, fun personality, but you can tell he gets really detailed in the playbook, and it'll be fun to see sort of what we've heard about him either come to fruition or not. Hopefully everything that we have does come to fruition for him, but if I were to give people 2 players to watch, I'd say O'Shawn Mathis on defense, Trey Palmer on offense, and those are just of the transfers. I could give you Garrett Nelson and other people from, that have been on the team prior, but those are just the 2 transfers to keep an eye on.
Aaron, I got a couple more questions for you, and the first one would be looking at the schedule right here. Like I said, I remember growing up and seeing Nebraska in the 90s just roll, but seeing that Oklahoma game on the schedule is a nice thing to see. Like Nebraska and Oklahoma fit like yin and yang almost in the college football world. What is the reaction around Nebraska that this game is coming back and that this is a home game for Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean, Nebraska traveled to Oklahoma last year. It was the 2 games. It was kind of created in honor of the 50th anniversary of the game of the century to have these 2 back-to-back home and home between Nebraska and Oklahoma. But it just feels like an old friend. I went to college at Nebraska when Nebraska was still in the Big 12, and, even at that point, Nebraska wasn't playing Oklahoma every year because of the way the Big 12 separated the 2. But even when you see Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, there was obviously such a respect for each other through that rivalry. I think it just, the beauty of college football and one of the downsides of all of the changes in these conferences, moving teams, is the potential of losing rivalries and losing long-term games. And I think that was one thing that even prior to Nebraska going to the Big 10, but when the Big 12 really dissolved that annual, every year relationship between Nebraska and Oklahoma, that was a sad thing for college football. So while it's only a 2-year deal right now, but they do play again, in the future, I think it's great. I think it's good for college football when these rivalries can have their moment.
Aaron Sorensen, Deputy Editor of Hail Varsity on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And the last thing I got for you is, how hard does that Guinness hit compared to here in the States?
It's so good. So many people were like, it's so different. Like, you will enjoy it even more than if you like it. Like, it's so much better. And we did do the Guinness tour, but even just having them, like, just ordering one from any bar, it's great. So I get it. I get the hype. Every person who told me, I get it. They were right. Now it's like, how do you go back to the States and not long for, I guess, what it is here?
Aaron, much appreciate the time, and we'll probably be getting back with you around that Oklahoma game to preview that as well. But thank you.
Please do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
That was some good stuff.
I'm
We
glad.
got to preview a football game.
Oh, yes. And it wasn't a preseason game either, so we didn't have to worry about that.
But yes, right now, Vegas, go into VegasInsider.com because it'll give you the lines of every single sports book that is out there. You are looking at between 12.5 and 13.5. Nebraska is a favorite over Northwestern. It opened up at 9.5. So money's been rolling in on the Huskers. It's going to be an interesting thing to see out. But time to take a quick commercial break, pay some bills. Thank Woody Anderson Ford for being the sponsor for this 2 o'clock hour right here. Bobby White and that body shop. Right, if you get into an accident, I mean, not many people want to go see a body shop, but if you get in an accident, world-class body shop right there. So we'll be right back. This is the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network. I am your host, the Bandi Man, a.k.a. Bailey Lowry, joined by Captain Cool, John Abraham.
Yo.
And our always reliable producer, Smokey Mike Huncho. If you want to join the show, you can call in now at 256-576-4977. And you can follow us on Twitter at the Blitz_sports, Facebook at the Blitz Sports Radio, and you can follow me on Twitter at BLowry2016, Captain Cool at CPTCool420, and Smokey Mike Huncho at Rose Scholar.
It feels like he sounds like he's performing a surgery, just so how meticulous he just announces everything. It's like, man, he's a surgeon.
He goes into it.
Like a surgeon, man.
He goes into it. No, but
like a surgeon.
I wanted to go back because I was going to say this before we went to break last break. But I wanted to talk about how similar these two teams actually are, though, with Nebraska and Northwestern, because last season they were literally the exact same when it comes to a record, except for 3-3. I think home. I think at home they were 3-3. Whereas I think Northwestern might have been 3-4. But it's insane how similar these teams were. I had it up, and I think I used my notes to get away from it. But I'm gonna look it up real quick so I can have it. Yeah. Okay. So Nebraska, their record in the conference 1-8. Their overall record 3-9. Exact same with Northwestern. Okay. Then we got the home games. Nebraska was 3-4. Where Northwestern was 3-3. Now that's the only way it differs, all right? Because the next thing, away, both teams are 0-5. Both teams ended their season losing 6 games straight.
So somebody's got to win this one.
Something's got to happen. Something's got to give. Yeah. But no, I was like, I brought it up to her, and then I was like, oh crap, these guys are literally the exact same teams. They both suck away, and they lose a lot of games at the end of the season, which hopefully, we can see a little bit of difference because both Nebraska and Northwestern weren't that bad only like a few years ago. Okay, these teams were fine in Big Ten, type vibes, but still. I'd like to see them go back to being good, especially Northwestern, just because I used to be a slight fan of them. I love their jerseys, and that's usually how I used to make my my picks for favorite teams. I used to choose between the jerseys. I used to like Rutgers, guys. I used to like Rutgers. So if that tells you anything, I used to like them when they were bad, and now they're only kind of good.
Hey, I will say, in the NCAA games, Rutgers would be one of those teams I would pick to start out the dynasty mode to work my way up.
Yeah.
It was generally like Rutgers, UAB, North Dakota, or New Mexico State.
Oh, okay, New Mexico State. Yeah, I can see that.
Or the times they had the 1AA teams in there, I'd swap them for like other
Yeah.
Sun Belt became the SWAC or something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, when Rutgers had those sick chrome helmets that looked like knight, like armor and stuff like that, I was loving it. It was my favorite. But now they moved over to Adidas, I believe, and they're back to kind of plain uniforms. They occasionally have a special uniform that comes in. I remember the long sleeve one they were wearing that one game, which was actually kind of dope. But other than that, I mean, like, Rutgers hasn't had cool jerseys. Northwestern, on the other hand, they've stuck with their cool jersey where it has the stripe down the middle. I think, it's one of those iconic uniforms that, for me at least, it got me inspired to draw plenty of football drawings with that same style of uniform. And then Nebraska, they've had some, specific ones that are pretty cool, but I've never really been a Nebraska fan. But, I've always kind of thought they were better than Northwestern, but I've always kind of liked Northwestern better. But either way, the team's both kind of stinky right now, but we'll see what they can do starting off this 2022 season. And it's good to talk about some college football because the vibes are just different from college football to NFL. And it brings me to ask this question before we head on to break, guys. Real quick, do you prefer college football over NFL?
See, for me, that's an easy question. 100%.
Okay.
I would most definitely agree with the Bandi man.
Okay.
I prefer college over pro, but don't give me Sun Belt teams. Like I want SEC Big Ten teams, but if you give me a Sun Belt team against our Sun Belt conference game against the NFL, I'm choosing NFL.
Well, I used to be in the same boat with you, and I'm going to say this now just because you won't be able to come back at me and argue. I like the NFL better. I like the vibes better. I like how, right now it looks a little bit more, neat, and we know what's going to happen with the NFL. Plus, they got the new, helmet rule that they can do. So, I mean, NFL's kind of on the up and up, whereas college football's kind of a little tight and all over the place with the conferences and all that jazz. So I don't like to deal with it. But when we get back, guys, we're going to be talking about what's cool with Captain Cool. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Van Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Smokey, Captain Cool, and the Bandi Man.
Hello, and welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz. This is the second hour. Smokey, are you available right now? He's not available right now.
What?
I wanted to know, okay, because now we don't just have one sponsor at the beginning of the show. We have a second sponsor. Who is that sponsor? Give him the grand reveal.
Well, the sponsor for the 3 o'clock hour is the one that you hear every top of the hour, and that's one Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Yes, sir.
And you know what they'll do?
They show up.
Exactly.
Exactly. They show up. And guys, very, very fortunate.
You know,
fortunate for them. Fortunate
I
for
gotta
them.
say, before you get into the cool segment, I know that like it's sometimes taboo to rag on some commercials or anything like that. But I think making fun of a commercial here or there actually helps the sponsor a little bit more, because it's like nothing's perfect. So, I mean, just hearing Fleming, you get it's just like what we were talking about yesterday with talking like or Bailey talking like me, or me talking like your old man.
Yeah.
Being like, we show up.
Yeah. So if you guys listen to the show as much as we do, which we have to sit and listen to all our sponsors and stuff, which is great. But hearing that ad 1,000 times, it honestly it's great, because like what is Fleming? What are they known for? They're known for showing up. And they say it 1,000 times in those commercials. And you know what? It's probably in everybody's head that listens to this show regularly. And it's just great, because that's exactly what we want to do. We want to put these guys in your head, because it's the best place to get all this stuff. All of that.
Roofing, restoration, and they work with the insurance adjusters too.
Oh, yeah.
So, or not insurance adjusters, but insurance claims process, which is a very big thing for some people. I mean, if you got a tree drop right in your roof, and then you get a hole in it, you need to work on the insurance claim process. Fleming could help you out with that.
They're the guys. But we have a lot of stuff coming out, because Gamescom is going on. That's when I brought up the whole PlayStation controller, which in itself is pretty cool. But we got game news, game releases that could go into the play-by-play, because he likes to talk about games too, isn't that right, Bandi? And and also we got some sports stuff to talk about. That's right, we're still a sports show. We're talking about Nick Saban getting the bag. I love to see it. The Cowboys coming up and announcing a new little helmet, maybe even a uniform this season, which is going to be great, because they're joining in on the many other teams that are doing it. And then maybe some old QBs going to be kicked to the curb for some the new rookies that are coming up in the world. And that's all coming up on What's Cool.
It's getting hot in here.
Hot air, so hot in here.
That's a spicy meatball. So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
Oh yeah.
You know what cool is?
What?
You're looking at it.
That's right. Yes, you're looking at it. If you're watching the stream, WZZN TV is where you got to go on Twitch and on YouTube. And you can still watch us on Facebook and occasionally on Twitter at the Blitz_sports. So definitely do that. But guys, first on the chopping block, Nick Saban done got that bag once again. And now he's back at being the highest paid coach in all of college football. Honestly, as he should. Saban passed his Georgia head coach Kirby Smart, who also got the bag earlier this offseason. Good for him. And he's going to Kirby Smart is going to be paid $11.2 million annually over the span of the next 10 seasons, meaning. Hit my mic. I was getting a little too crazy with my hands. But that's without bonuses, okay? And, bonuses come from if you go to the SEC title, if you go to the national championship, if you win the national, it all just adds up even more. Very crazy, very lucrative. And so he will be receiving $112.5 million throughout all the way up to 2031. That's just how the deal's all about. That's for Kirby Smart, at least. Now, Saban, on the other hand, okay, he received an 8-year deal worth a little bit less, okay, a little bit less, but it's $93.6 million, meaning yearly Saban will be receiving $10.7 million, which is more than Kirby Smart's going to be getting, okay, and that's only in 2022, okay, because on average he's going to be receiving $11.7 million, and that's just yearly. And, man's making a lot of money. And this doesn't even take into account the several bonuses that he will most likely receive from winning SEC titles and the national championships, which he better bring us a few more if we're paying him that top money. But honestly, Nick Saban, one of the best, if not the best, SEC college football coach ever. He deserves it. He deserves every penny.
I mean, he 100% deserves it. And as an Alabama fan, I couldn't be happier, because that is now up until 2030. I can hear every other SEC fan base cry that Saban needs to retire.
Oh my gosh! You know how old he's gonna be at the end of this contract?
How old is he gonna be?
He's gonna be 78 years old. Oh.
If he can still do it.
If he can do it. I think he's got, knock on wood, this man looks healthier than me.
Hey, Saban may have discovered the fountain of youth, and that may just be college football.
And the money that it brings. And maybe living on a lake that, you bring your guys to every once in a while. That's always nice, too. You just having fun with it. Being an all-time coach, just nonstop, just doing his thing. It's a tough job, but, somebody's got to do it. And, maybe if you like money, why not? Go for it, because you can make quite a bit. Just ask Nick Saban. Was that your tummy over there, Bandi?
I think that was.
I heard that. And all this money talk's making me a little hungry, too, because I want that green. I want all that green, all right? But moving on, because you've probably heard it from everybody else, the whole Nick Saban, getting all of the money. It's going to happen. Coaches are going to be, they're going to be being paid more and more, and that's just going to keep going up because somebody else is going to get paid. It's just like in NFL or any other thing, okay? If a guy's getting paid more, somebody else wants more. They think they deserve it. That's just how it is. That's kind of how it's going in at the Ravens in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. He sees Deshaun Watson get that bag. He wants more money. He just wants more. And that's just kind of how it is. But moving on to the next cool story. The American team, the Dallas Cowboys, have announced that they are bringing back the classic white helmet. Yeah?
Okay.
For one day.
No.
One day only. Thanksgiving Day, which is how it's supposed to be. That's how they've done it in the past, okay? Back in, the earlier times whenever football actually allowed more than one helmet. But yeah, they'll be bringing back the iconic white helmet, but not without bringing back the iconic jersey to boot. You know what jersey I'm talking about, correct?
I do.
You know what jersey that is. Okay, but the real thing is, we haven't seen the jerseys yet. We've only seen the helmet. That's all they've given us. So that's, it's fine. But, the jersey's coming soon. And maybe, we won't see it until Thanksgiving Day, but I highly doubt it. Maybe the week of we'll be seeing that. But we haven't seen it, this jersey and this helmet, together since 2013. Okay? That was around the last time whenever they were allowed to be, having the multiple helmets and all that stuff. It changed after 2012, which I think was the best year for all that stuff because Nike was oh my gosh, I almost died right there. They were throwing out all these cool helmets and all that stuff. If you guys remember, whenever RG3 was on the Redskins, they had that awesome brown helmet that made it out like it was the really classic helmet. And then we had a bunch of other crazy helmets that came in, and that was awesome stuff. But then in 2013, they were like, too many concussions, no more. We're gonna change that, and yeah. So
too many concussions. Change the jerseys.
No, not the jersey. I'm talking about just the helmets. That's whenever they were like, you can't have so many helmets. But then going years on and stuff like that, we saw some of the same jerseys that we saw before, but with just the regular helmets. And teams had to kind of come to a compromise and figure out what the best look would be with the normal helmet they had. Some changed the logos on the helmets, but at the end of the day, they still had to be the exact same helmet, and they weren't going to be painting over any of these helmets. But yes. Back to the Cowboys. The last time they wore this uniform, guess who was the quarterback? There's only one other guy that it could be, if it's not Dak Prescott.
Tony Romo.
There you go. Or Andy Dalton. I could have said it. It could have been Andy Dalton or, was it Brandon Weeden? Yeah, Brandon Weeden went over there at one point. But yeah, it was Tony Romo, yes. He was the guy leading the snaps, taking them and, throwing balls all over the place. And that, that was a long time ago. And if you're an in-depth uniform expert like myself, you'd be interested in how the new Nike-styled uniforms will look with this because we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the new uniform or this type of uniform in the new Nike style, which isn't too much different from, what it used to be whenever Nike first took over for the uniforms. They were rocking the freaking fly wire. Remember the fly wire? On the neck, on the NFL jerseys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember.
So I don't know exactly what the fly wire did, but it looked pretty cool. It was very just kind of there. Smokey, do you remember the fly wire, and do you remember if it did anything specific, or it was just kind of design choice?
I think it was just design choice there.
It's so weird.
It just kind of looked good. It didn't really do anything for the player.
It looked slick. Like I felt like every jersey looked kind of cool when they were wearing it, and that's why that's why I've always been so in depth with these jerseys. Is just because back in the day, even today, I've been starting to try to get back into it. Is just I used to draw football players, and I used to really want to get all the detail correct about the uniforms. So I know literally every little detail, and I remember. Whenever the whole NFL was still doing a lot of the Nike stuff, I noticed that some teams were still doing like the Reebok jerseys, but with the Nike logo on it. And the Packers were one of them. The Eagles were one of them. Now the Eagles have moved over and all that stuff. But like I noticed that type of stuff. And then the first time I saw the new uniforms that they were bringing in, those I guess they're just like the ones that came afterwards. I don't exactly know what they were. Called because you could go back to the original 2012 jerseys and say Flywire and you know exactly what they are. But then they went over to I saw Alabama rocking these new uniforms that they don't even wear nowadays, but they were more similar to them where they had the stitching went to the middle, and you can only see me like doing this on the stream, but the stitching went to the middle and then it went straight down the uniform.
Yeah. What year was that?
That was 2014, 2015, 2016. It was when who was it? Blake Sims? Was it Blake Sims? Remember?
Sims was 14.
Yes. So yeah,
Okay.
that's when I first saw it. I was like, okay, yeah. So 2014. That's when they went to that, and now they've gone over to a different style. It has less seams, so I don't like it as much. But it's still pretty much the same premise as the previous two uniforms that the NFL has really had. Some teams even still have the Flywire style, but without the Flywire. Like the Ravens, I don't think they had the Flywire for like the first 2 years. They had the Nike ones, and then they just took off the Flywire, had the same style and everything. But this is it's a cool story with the Cowboys having this new uniform, new jersey coming back, and the real question here is, how does it stack up between all the other the other classics that are coming out this year? And that includes, I'm going to include the Eagles classic uniform that they haven't really officially unveiled, but they know it's coming. We know it's coming in 2023, so it'll come at some point. But yeah, let's just put a list down right now. We got the Falcons be rocking it. Obviously the Patriots are going to be rocking it. I'm not going to type anything in my computer while I'm saying this list. I think I can have it all in my head. The Giants, the Cowboys. I'm going to say we could put in the Eagles just because, which Eagles uniform they're going back to, correct? Okay. They're going back to their old, like, light green, all that stuff. But which one is really the best looking? Okay. Will say I am a fan of the Falcons one. I like the red helmet. I like the basic uniform, but it looks good with the red helmet. So what about you, Bandi? Which one are you thinking? Okay.
You know what? I feel in the Eagles one a little bit.
Feeling the Eagles one. I'm kind of excited for that as well.
Because I do like that light green, and it just kind of reminds me when I used to pick them all the time in Madden against my brother who would pick the Falcons.
There you go. There you go. You guys used to do like the classic jersey matchup? Mm-hmm. Okay, because anytime I used to pick the Eagles, the only uniform I went was the ugly yellow and blue.
Why?
Just because it was funny, dude. It was a cool, wacky uniform. You couldn't get anything else like it. Smokey, which one are you thinking? You like the Falcons? You like the Giants? You like the Patriots throwbacks? You like the Eagles? You like the Cowboys?
Honestly, I am a dead sucker for Pat Patriot.
Okay, yeah.
That is bar none my favorite retro is Pat Patriot.
I will say the Patriots one
in the Reds,
nice.
Especially in the red jerseys. Yeah.
Yep, the Pat Patriot, good old Pawtucket Pat.
Okay.
I used to have, my parents actually had in my room when I was a kid, little mini banners of all the 28 NFL teams that were at the time.
Okay.
So I've got, I don't know if they got all thrown away, so wear and tear and all this stuff, but that's something I would love to have again. It's just like all 32 teams in banner. I got a Coors Light beer sign, a neon light beer sign that's got the NFL, Coors Light being the official beer of the NFL, and it's got all 32 team logos set up by division.
All right, pretty cool.
It's in the man cave, aka garage.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be in the man cave. One awesome combination I always loved to watch was the Patriots in their throwbacks against the Oilers in their throwbacks, and I'm talking about the baby blue. Has the baby blue Oiler helmet and all that stuff. That was just, I loved that type of game. It was just stellar jerseys on the field, even though they're from a different past, but it's better than what we're looking at right now with the Titans.
I really
uniform.
wish they would. The Titans uniforms. It should. I really think they should just give the Oiler retro back to Houston, because it was in Houston.
Yeah, it was.
Not we had 1 year of the Tennessee Oilers, and they played in the Liberty Bowl. They didn't even play in Nashville.
Yeah.
So, I really feel like old franchises need to stay in their respective cities that they were at.
Okay.
Like in the NBA, do you want to see anybody else named Supersonic that isn't in Seattle?
Not really, no. The only acceptable thing would be if OKC changed their name back to Supersonic.
But it doesn't make sense now.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as I want to say I want to see the Titans back in that, it's kind of true that, the only team that should get that is the team that's in that location.
Yeah.
But if you're a Titans fan, you're like, well, the team used to be there and they used to, have that history. So,
would you like to see the Baltimore Ravens become the Cleveland Browns?
It's more of no. It's more of do you care more about the team history or the actual franchise history?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of boils down to.
Well, the other thing too, Dallas or Kansas City. Kansas City used to be the Dallas Texans before they moved. Do we want to let the Cowboys have the Texans' old uniforms, or should we let Kansas City do it?
Yeah, it could.
Granted, it was all AFL at the time.
Yeah,
so.
that's the one thing. It goes back to that time, where it's the Baltimore Colts. Should we talk about the Baltimore Colts and how, who should get that, passed, all that stuff. So
we could turn the Ravens back into the Browns, the Colts into the Ravens.
That's the thing, though. These teams are added on, so it's now the history is kind of erased. I don't know. What history do the Browns actually have? Do you think the Browns are the team that started in the 60s or the 40s that beat the Eagles? The Super Bowl reigning Eagles back then, or they weren't Super Bowl because there wasn't a Super Bowl back then, but they were champions. So does that history go to Baltimore? Or does it go to Cleveland? It's just it's a tough little subject. Whenever you get too far in the century or the century that was the 1990s. So it's all just kind of foggy. But let's move on from the jerseys because we talked about it a little too much. And let's go on to what I was going to talk about at the beginning. Out with the old QBs and in with the new. Did you guys watch any of that game last night? Against the Falcons and the Jets.
I did not. Well, I did see that catch by, his name's escaping me, but he used to be at Florida.
Oh, Pitts?
Yes.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts.
Yes, Pitts played really well.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice catch, I will say. But yeah, last night, ugly little matchup going on. We had Atlanta versus the Jets. Yep, their uniform's kind of gross. But let's talk about it because, we had another star, a little rookie star coming in and really showing out. And, a few days ago I talked about Kenny Pickett, being maybe a first a starter for the Steelers over Mitchell Trubisky. But now we're looking over here in Atlanta, and things are getting a little close, a little dicey, Now, let me tell you, like I said before, Marcus Mariota is not a bad quarterback. He played fine, okay? His numbers were, he went 6-10, 132 passing yards, and a touchdown. So, that's a solid preseason, a little stat line. But then we got Desmond Ridder just coming in here, big boy, he's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take care of this preseason. I'm going to fight for that job. He went 10-13, 143 yards. So, no touchdowns, though. But, he got down into the red zone numerous times. They had chances. They just couldn't. He couldn't be the one to score touchdowns all the time. So, it really is getting close with a lot of these quarterbacks. And, at week one, maybe a little bit before week one, we think about this stuff, and it's like, there's no way. Kenny Pickett is not going to be starting week one against, he's just not. Mitchell Trubisky, he's the guy with a lot of, he has his past in the NFL. He's done the work already. So it's like, do you want to bring your rookie in and have him, start automatically? Probably not. So will we see these guys week 1? I don't think so. Week 4, on the other hand, that might be likely for both Kenny Pickett or Desmond Ridder. Because I know, first off, the Falcons have a pretty tough, first few games when it comes down to, defenses being able to get to the backfield, destroy. So, obviously, maybe have a guinea pig back there, as in Marcus Mariota, because he's done his time in the NFL. He could do plenty more if he shows a resurgence in his playing style. But honestly, I would keep Marcus Mariota in for the first few games, only for where it doesn't risk you losing Desmond Ridder right off the bat, because the Falcons could see him as the future of the team. And, Bandi, I hear that. You are a hungry guy over there.
See, that wasn't my stomach that time. That was my throat.
That was just, okay, that's...
I don't know what that was.
But, yeah.
I don't know what you two are doing over there in that gym.
Can't hear it.
I don't know
I'm doing my best impression of a fraud right now, apparently.
Frogger.
If I'm going to be honest, I think Desmond Ridder should come in, and I think he should play week 3. I'm going to say week 3 he should come in against Seattle, and I think he should show what he's got. Because week 2 I would not put him in because he's playing up against the Rams. So, you don't want to go against that D line. And then the week after Seattle, they're going up against my Browns. And you better watch out because the Browns they'll kill you, okay? They straight up will. And then the Buccaneers after that. So it's like, do you want to put him in just kind of for a little test on, week 3 against the Seahawks? Give him a little bit of real-life regular season play? Desmond Ridder, man, he might be the guy that they have to go to, maybe in the later half of the season. But, it's just depending on what could happen, depending on what I've seen in the past where, we've had guys like Baker Mayfield even. He came in, it was like week 3 or 4, they were playing up against the Jets. They were on a terrible home game losing streak. And what is his name? Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback. And they looked terrible against the Jets. And it ended up having, Baker Mayfield had to come in. And he had to show out. And he won. And that's the type of stuff. You see these young players playing these games. And they show up. Okay? And it happens in even college football. You see these younger guys snagging jobs from the older players. And so, both of these guys, Kenny Pickett. There you go. Yeah. Kenny Pickett and both Desmond Ridder. I feel like I'm going to call it right now. One of them will be playing before week 5 regular season. And the other one will probably pick up maybe in the later half of the season, and that might be Kenny Pickett. You don't know. I feel like Mitchell Trubisky's got a better chance at staying as a starting quarterback for a little bit of time, but you don't know. Okay, Marcus Mariota's looking pretty good, but maybe he's not good enough. So we'll see about that. Bandi, let's move on to you because we know that we have some contributions to the cool show. I know you're keeping up with the GamesCon right now. You've told me one game. What do you got over there?
And I'm going to kind of go through a lot of the other major announcements in the next section.
Okay.
But I willed this into existence, I swear, at the beginning of the show. But halfway into Gamescom, a Killer Clowns from Outer Space game is happening.
We talked about it. And it happened. That's what happened.
There's going to be a 3 versus 7 multiplayer title coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, yada, yada, yada.
Everything.
In early 2023. And yeah, it's a Killer Clowns from Outer Space game. They showed off a little bit of it at Gamescom, so
look at it.
I'm excited.
Is it a survival horror game?
It looks like it's going to be kind of like a Dead by Daylight kind of game.
Okay, so yeah, it is. But instead of just one guy, one big old like Jason, it is 3 little clowns running around trying to kill you.
It's for 3 clowns, and you got 7 survivors.
Okay. I'm excited.
I willed it.
You put it into reality. That's what you did. I gotta watch this gameplay video, but
now you gotta watch the movie.
I gotta watch the movie too, so I know the lore behind the whole game. I'm hoping that they do a good job with it, because I know some of these other games, like Dead by Daylight, and is it? Okay, so no, okay, Dead by Daylight also has a clown killer type thing, so that's what first popped up. But
yeah, completely different.
Yeah.
But when I'm excited, when you see a game based around like niche horror movies or like kind of just niche things in general, like because it's not gonna get that kind of mainstream appeal anyway. I feel like the developers they're gonna treat this more, or they've been treating it like a passion project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's gonna turn out pretty well, and the screenshots look good. So
Okay, well I'll have to check it out a little bit more. Do you want to say one more game? The one game you told me that everybody's been waiting for a while, or do you want to save that until later?
I mean, I was gonna save it for my segment, unless you want to announce it.
No, you want to save it, you save it.
All right.
But let's just hype the people up though. It's been a long time coming.
It's gonna be another zombie game.
It is a zombie game, yeah, but it is gonna be one that is kind of a classic, but it is this is a sequel, I guess, to the previous that people have been waiting for a while. We may or may not have gotten a goat tease in it, but you know,
you'll see.
You'll see. You'll see that. Smokey, do you want to contribute to the pool of cool?
Well, I would like to contribute that ESPN sucks half the time when they play videos just out of the blue, and I get
Just go
noises
wah.
and sounds and all that.
That happens in the meetings, I feel like, a lot.
It isn't cool, but
No.
there really isn't much cool that I could bring on this one, except for it was cool to see Old Man Edge pull out a Canadian destroyer last night on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, what about the guy that he's gonna go over to Russia and save the world?
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. I put it back into your mind. What about it?
Well, the man who talked Kim Jong-un into working out some negotiations and all that.
Funny.
Dennis Rodman, the worm, is going to Russia. He is going to talk with Putin.
Is he actually going to, though, or is he just talking? Is he just saying it?
If Dennis Rodman says he's going to do something, I have 100% faith he's going to do it.
And his main thing that he's going to be trying is to seek the release of that pot smoker, Brittany Griner.
Of that pot smoke, he's just like, I don't forgive her, but I will save her for America. He's not country, though. He's not country. That was just my intense voice right there. But no, I think it's pretty cool. Let's save the world. Why not? Let's just go. Do you think he's going to go over there with peace, or you think he's going to go over there arms ablazing?
I actually saw, what was it? Showtime did a documentary with him going over to North Korea, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they just treated him like a king and let him have his basketball game in front of the whole North Korean crowd, which was in complete and utter silence during the basketball game.
Yeah.
It's like you couldn't cheer or anything like that. You had to sit there and you had to be like, what's the word?
Stare.
Yeah, there was limited footage from the event, but it's weird. It is really weird to see a crowd in a basketball game, but there's no sound.
It's also, that's another thing with like wrestling crowds. Like, you're expected to interact. You're expected to be entertained. And it always cracks me up because American wrestling crowds are completely in your face. But when you go to Japan, they're very much more laid back. They stay quiet and they stay seated throughout the entire match and then give their applause afterwards.
Yeah.
So wrestlers who wrestle in America for the primary majority of the time, they always comment when they go to Japan, they don't know what's working or what's not working with the crowd because there's no reaction
That's
to
tough.
it.
That would be that would be a crazy kind of
Also, I feel
mind melt.
Yeah, I feel like Japan would be different than that, though, because, I mean, you see some of these J-pop groups dancing around on stage. You see all these guys in the crowd with these wands. They're just like, they're all just, like, throwing it back and forth. So they're having a great time. But I guess in wrestling, it's different.
No, not in professional wrestling. That's the way it's set up. But that's just, it's a culture and the way the culture's set up. And Japanese culture is extremely respectful and big time.
They are.
Like parents and authoritative figures.
Yeah,
but
okay.
we're running a little long, so we might as well get the play-by-play going on after this commercial break. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The tech show's on this month. You know, I was thinking of looking at home security systems.
Oh, cool. I'll go with you. We're looking for more home security ideas, too. That's why I called Budget Blinds.
Budget blinds?
Look at this.
A remote for the blinds.
Yep, motorized.
Okay, well, that's beyond cool. I love it. But what does it have to do with home security?
Oh, they also come with a timer. The blinds and drapes open themselves in the morning, close in the evening.
Oh, so it looks like somebody's home even when you're not.
Exactly, and I saved a bunch of money. Sally saved a bunch of money.
Ha, but you'll take the credit.
Yeah.
My brother, the tech genius.
Thanks, man.
Now give me that remote.
Budget Blinds motorized window coverings are the ultimate in luxury, and during the Luxury Within Reach event, they're even more affordable. The more you buy, the more you save, with savings up to $2,000. Hurry and call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS now before this offer ends, or go online to budgetblinds.com. Don't miss out. Call 855-BUDGET-BLINDS now. Offer good on select products at participating independently owned and operated franchises. Restrictions may apply. Ask for details.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, Managing Partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress. A mom.
We're all part of your community.
Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty.
Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network. I'm your host, the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry, joined by Captain Cool John Abraham.
Yo.
And our always reliable producer, Smokey Mike Huncho.
I think somebody made a noise over there.
I think that was probably the Chad.
I think it was the Chad.
Yeah, he's pointing to himself. That was the Chad in the building. But if you want to join the show, you can call in 256-576-4977 and be sure to follow us on Twitter at @theblitz_sports, and be sure to watch us on Facebook and follow us on Facebook as well at the Blitz Sports Radio. You can follow me on the Twitter sphere as well at BLowry2016, Captain Cool at CPTCool420, which he will always say is his birthday.
Do it.
And Smokey Mike Huncho at Rose Scholar. Now, we got some good video game news to talk about today. Gamescom, again, the opening live stream just ended, so we got plenty of announcements. You're listening to the E-Play-by-Play.
There it is.
Time to catch up on esports with E-Play-by-Play with the Bandi Man.
Now, we actually have a little bit of unfortunate news in the video game world, as the famed Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, one of the best RPGs ever made, currently has a remake in the works.
Okay.
Well, not anymore.
Oh.
It has been paused indefinitely after what appears to be disappointment over the current progress of the RPG. So an internal demo was shown to representatives of Lucasfilm and Sony, and apparently they were not impressed. This has led to Asper telling employees that the project would be put on pause and that the company would look for, quote, new contracts and development opportunities. So not a good look for Asper. It looks like they're going to go in a different development direction with the remake of Knights of the Old Republic.
Dang.
Which, if they weren't impressed by it, that's fine. Take as much time as you need with KOTR.
Yeah, or just don't give it to us if it's trash, because I've never played the game before.
Oh, that's a disservice.
I was gonna let it be the game that got me into it. You know, it finally shows me the ropes. But if they're not gonna do it, or if they're just gonna can it, I guess that time will never come.
Smokey, did you ever play Knights of the Old Republic?
I played Knights of the Old Republic. I love that. I'm big into the Star Wars game. What was it? What was the first N64 one? Knights in the Shadow Republic? It was something with the shadow. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that's got to be my favorite Star Wars game of all time.
Okay. So you have gotten your hands on Knights of the Old Republic back in the day. Okay, back in the day.
All right, now onto the big news of today. Gamescom opening day live stream has just concluded, and with that, we got some pretty big reveals going on. The Callisto Protocol, the new horror title coming from the developer and creator of Dead Space, Glenn Schofield, got some new gameplay today, and I cannot wait for this game.
It looks good.
Dead Space was one of my favorite horror games of PS3, Xbox 360 era. And now not only is a remake of Dead Space 1 coming out, which is going to look really good, but also this new game, which it looks like it's going to be a little more emphasis on stealth.
Yeah.
Not so much action as kind of Dead Space kind of devolved into toward the end.
Yeah, no. The first game of Dead Space I remember was the one that really got me into it, and I wish I could have played more of it, but when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to play it as much, and also I just didn't have the funds to be buying single-player games nonstop. But I will say, you also brought up Dead Space at the beginning of this show because we talked about Event Horizon. So you could say that you're 2 for 2 on making things happen.
You know what? Yeah, you could say that because it was brand new gameplay. Got some new mechanics shown off. Honestly, I'm just so excited for it. December can't come soon enough. And we also got some new Tales from the Borderlands has been officially revealed. So we got a new Tales from the Borderlands game. I honestly thought Telltale, like that, because they used to make the old
Walking Dead games.
Yeah, like the visual novel kind of style.
They did a Guardians of the Galaxy one as well.
They did. Wait.
Yeah.
They did a Guardians of the Galaxy one?
Yeah, unless it got canceled. I believe they did a Guardians of the Galaxy game. Let me check it while you continue with the news.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, there you go. They did.
You can get it on Game Pass.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they did that. At one point, I remember that company almost going bankrupt. They almost went out of business completely. So it's good to see that they're coming back with more stuff. Though I will say I played a lot of the Walking Dead Tale series. I did not play any of the Borderlands Tale series.
I haven't either. The only one I played was actually the one based on the graphic novel. Was it The Wolf Among Us?
Oh yeah. The
one based kind of like on the different versions of fairy tale characters, but you're kind of like the big bad wolf from the big bad.
Yeah, you got it.
The big bad wolf from a Three Pig story.
Yeah,
was actually a detective.
Okay. So no, I haven't played that one, but I remember like whenever you said that, like it was the first thing that comes to my mind was the guy standing, it just shows his bearded face. But no, like it comes to mind whenever you bring up the Tales series, just in general, just any of the games that they made. That was the one that I remember was it was a big deal. It was a big deal, and then it went over to The Walking Dead, and they did a bunch of that, which is a great series. But yeah, with the Borderlands little crossover that they do, I love Borderlands. I don't know how I'd like it if it was just, the Telltale series doing, the story of Borderlands. Because the gameplay is definitely one of those big things about Borderlands that makes me like it. So.
Right. It's like the whole thing is collecting as many weapons as you can.
Yeah, but I
guess
guess
just going absolutely berserk.
I guess they got more though. So.
But another one, Genshin Impact 3.0 trailer has dropped. So the 3.0 update coming to Genshin Impact. Go ahead and spend all your money. Because that's what gacha games are.
Yeah, please, also, developers, bring it to Xbox. I'm sick and tired of trying to play it on my phone and it takes up all space. Jeez.
But, and again, kind of like how I brought up earlier in the What's Cool segment, Killer Clowns from Outer Space game.
Yeet.
Coming to all systems. And we also have a new game coming from Fallout and Skyrim veteran Jeff Gardner.
Ooh.
His new studio called Something Wicked is working on a new RPG called Word Song. So only a brief tease was given, but the game will be set in a dark fictional version of historical Portugal, full of conspiracies and supernatural going-ons.
Interesting. I honestly have nothing to say about it because I have no idea what it's going to be about. But I see these guys walking to this castle with glowing heads. So that might have something to do with it.
And also, Metal Gear Solid and Death Stranding creator Hideo Kojima is starting his own podcast. It's going to be called Brain Structure and will be available in English and Japanese.
Yeah.
So if you want to see what it's like in the mind of one of the video game business's most talented creators, I would say.
Yeah.
You know what?
No.
I might give it a listen.
Yeah. And also, I'm very intrigued with him at the moment because if you guys watched during the Xbox announcements earlier this summer, he was announced to be one of the dudes that's going to help develop games for Microsoft and Xbox altogether. So I wonder if he'll be talking a little bit more on that because we haven't got too much about it.
All right, and two more of the biggest announcements. I mean, we're just kind of getting a little bit of everything scary here toward the end of the year. But, I mean, it makes sense. We're heading into October, later part of the year. We got to get a little spooky. But the Outlast Trials has gotten a new trailer. We have not heard a word about this game literally since last year. Since last Gamescom, they actually announced this a sequel to Outlast 2. And now we finally got some new gameplay of it. And, again, the creators behind this... They know how to do horror. They know how to scare you.
Yeah, no. I played the second one. I watched the first one. They are creepy games, but I didn't. So I'm glad that the game that you showed me earlier. You showed me the trailer. I didn't exactly know if it was an Outlast game because it does have different mechanics in it. But I guess it's gonna be like it's Outlast's take on a type of what is it? Is it Saw? Is it Saw? Is that the one I'm thinking about? No, Jigsaw.
Yeah, Saw.
It's kind of. It looks like it's gonna be their take on like a Jigsaw type of horror where there's games included and stuff, and it's a little bit more of like there might be clowns. There's probably gonna be a few clowns. No, I see a clown right here.
Yeah. Oh, they already got clowns.
Yeah, I see a clown.
What gets me, but kind of the trademark about the Outlast games is that you're pretty much in the dark the entire game.
Yeah.
Both in Outlast 1 and 2, and you have to move around with a night vision camera. But during the Outlast Trials trailer, there was no camera. As far as I saw, there wasn't a camera in play, so I don't know if the presentation looks like it's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
This could be a whole new kind of Outlast game, but it looks like the scary is still going to be there.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to giving it a shot.
So, kind of like what I said whenever you showed me the trailer, because Outlast is mainly and only, it's only been a single-player game where you go around, you try to escape these certain areas. This one, they're also doing a beta for, which you brought that up, and it kind of makes sense because in that trailer, you see your guy is, like, helping out somebody else, like, get up this ledge and stuff. So I'm going to say that this is going to be Outlast, but with multiplayer.
Ooh.
And I think it's even more for sure because I see this picture that they have for the Outlast trials, and it looks like it'd be like a cover art for it or something. But it shows a guy reaching up, and then it shows two other people that are wearing the same type of like costume and outfit, and they're to the side, and then he's reaching up to somebody's hand. So this might just be a 4-player, type of Outlast, but we don't know that for sure. But that's kind of what I'm speculating here, and it looks kind of interesting, kind of cool.
Yeah, horror is always better with a friend.
Yeah, it makes it a little less horror.
A little less scary. But last announcement, and right now the biggest one of Gamescom so far, Dead Island 2 is real, and it's actually just a few months away.
Oh, baby.
So Dead Island 1 came back, oh my goodness, so long ago.
I think it was 2011, 2012.
We're talking, still PS3. Yeah, 2011. It has been 11 years since we've last seen a Dead Island game. It's about to be 12.
Jeez.
Because Dead Island 2 is going to be coming out February 3rd, 2023.
Wow.
Looks like a long-awaited sequel is going to feature 6 playable characters, and it is going to be described as a pulpy and irreverent tone and a ton of ways to kill zombies.
Let's go.
Because that was kind of Dead Island's trademark, is that you kind of had a little bit of parkour, but you could almost use anything as a weapon.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dead Rising. But it got really fun.
So, yeah.
Because you could modify, I remember you could modify cricket bats with barbed wire and electrify them to take down zombies.
Yeah, you could do a lot of that customizing. So it's very cool to see it come back. The first game was awesome. I played like enough of it to kind of get the gist, but I had a lot of games to play, especially BioShock Infinite at the time. So I didn't finish the game, but I did play a lot of it. It was very intriguing. There were some aspects of it that were a little wonky. So I'm hoping in this the sequel that they will do a little bit different. But dude, the trailer for this game came out like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, that first announcement trailer with like that blonde dude walking on the boardwalk.
I was in high school whenever that came out. And so that's how I know like when exactly it was like announced. And I remember Jack Black having a little role in that trailer, and so I'm hoping that he's one of the playable characters, and I'm hoping they took this much time to get it prepared because they wanted to make a flawless zombie game.
Hey,
okay.
From the trailer they showed and a little bit and the gameplay that was in it, this is gonna be crazy.
Okay, I haven't watched it.
It looks like it has so much more polish compared to Dead Island 1.
Oh my gosh.
So I can't wait.
You're getting me hyped up. And I know you brought up the parkour aspect. I think...
No, I was thinking of Dying Light.
You're thinking of Dying Light, yeah. Dying Light was very parkoury. This one was more like gritty survival. You had certain things. You kind of just level your guy up. You level your weapons up slowly but surely. You get like a gun like 3-4 hours into the gameplay. So if that shows you anything, it's very scarce to actually have this stuff. Whereas Dying Light, it's just like you get this big old sandbox world, and you can just jump onto cars from like thousands of feet above and do a bunch of other stuff. It's very parkoury, but yeah, Dead Island, dude, finally coming back. So excited for that, dude.
And looks like we're going to be getting a little bit over here, but we're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, Smokey is going to run out his DF3 and wrap up the Afternoon Blitz. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Yeah. The Blitz has been called.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
And welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz final segment on a Tuesday. A two for Tuesday. Two.
Brought to you by?
I don't know.
Two.
Brought to you by Valley. Well, Valley Equipment Rental does some advertising on here, and they're a great sponsor as well. And I'm trying.
You're getting a little choppy over there.
I know,
I guess
man.
I'm doing the DF3 today.
Trouble.
Get right into it. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the DF3.
Trouble.
You too. Anyway, DF3 time around. We're not going to get into that legacy free pool yet because I don't have time.
We'll give you time tomorrow.
I don't have any time. No time but for legacy. Anyway, what I generally like to do with Major League Baseball is their season goals. As in, like in DraftKings and FanDuel, you both have season-long goals on accomplishments, like 25,000 crowns if I play $1 a day on MLB plays. 25,000 crowns ends up being roughly $50 or $55. And then the DraftKings will also give you an extra 50 DK dollars, so you basically get $100 back.
All right.
So I like to do these $1 tier plays. And what the tier system is you get no money.
Oh.
It's no salary cap. You pick between 4 and 8 players on each certain tier and go from there. Well, my plays today, let's start with tier 1 for this evening's matchups. You got Paul Goldschmidt, the Judge, Devers, Contreras for the Cubs. Out of those 4, I like Goldschmidt.
Okay.
I mean, he's been rocking. He's been raking a good bit here lately. Judge, I'm waiting for the Yankees to get back into winning fashion.
They beat the Mets.
They did, and we'll see how tonight goes.
Yeah, they pushed back DeGrom.
Well, yeah, they got Taijuan Walker starting. Anyway, tier 2, Vlad Guerrero Jr., as I like, over Arenado, Lindor, Byron Buxton, and Kyle Schwarber. And then tier 3 is Acuna over Mike Trout, Austin Riley, Pete Alonso, Teoscar Hernandez, and JT Realmuto. So Goldschmidt, Guerrero, Acuna will be the DF3 for this. And the Chad not being here is kind of like
sad.
I know.
It's lonely.
It's woo.
He left us.
Anyway, we'll be back in 22 hours and with another wonderful Hump Day edition of the Afternoon Blitz.
Hump Day.
Have yourselves a good night. It's the Afternoon Blitz.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry